What's up, guys? Just got back from seeing Wolfman. What the? Okay, guys, this is just cringy. I mean, I can't even go on with this. Okay, what's up, everyone? So I just got the chance to see Wolfman literally today. Don't know when this video is gonna come out. Hopefully, it's by tonight. If not, probably tomorrow. Just to let you guys know, I'm not a furry. I swear I'm not a furry. That was just, I had this mask when I was like 5 or 6 because I saw it at Walmart and I thought it was really funny when I was a kid and my mom bought it for me. This was before furries were like even like a thing, and then this was like $10 at the time because like they were cheap, and I was like, that's really funny, and so I bought it. And then furries became like a thing, and then like I was like, I found this randomly when I was cleaning out my closet like 2 years ago. I was like, oh my god. But I thought that was a funny intro. So that was a side rant. Anyways, Wolfman, I just thought, let's get into it. Also, a few things before we start the video. That noise, I know you can hear it. I think it's my heater. It's making a weird noise. Hopefully, I don't die. It doesn't blow up. I don't know why it's doing that. Should I be concerned? Also, I'm going to keep this spoiler free until I get to my spoiler section of the review. So just keep that in mind when you see this review. Going into the Wolfman, this is the same guy that directed the Invisible Man remake that came out a few years back. He's actually the guy that is in the first Saw movie, which I thought that was really interesting. He wrote the first Saw movie, so going into this, I was like, wow, this could be really good. Now, I never saw The Invisible Man, and actually, I haven't seen a lot of Wolfman content. I've never seen the original Wolfman from like the 1940s, I believe. It's on my bucket list. I've seen Frankenstein and all the other ones, like Invisible Man, all that. Never seen the Invisible Man remake that he made. Gotta go see that. But I did watch American Werewolf in London, which was very cool and one of the best Wolfman versions, I guess, I've seen. And I actually haven't seen the 2010 werewolf movie. So really my only werewolf knowledge was like Hotel Transylvania, Harry Potter and Prisoner of Azkaban, and like the Twilight movies. There wasn't a ton of Wolfman content that I was getting. So going into this, I was really blind. And I didn't really know a ton. I just knew that the Wolfman like turns into a werewolf when the moon's out, and he dies by like silver bullets, stuff like that. The iconic Wolfman stuff. This is not so much, and it's clear in the trailer. And I didn't really know going into it really what I was expecting, except that it was going to be a little different from the Wolfman. And just hearing reviews, because I work at the movie theater, so I asked people, oh, how was the movie? I didn't see it, just tell me how it is, like, spoiler-free thoughts. And a lot of people said that they didn't like it, they thought it was really bad, and so when going into this, I was like, dang, this is going to be pretty bad, and I thought it was going to be bad, because it's, you know, January release date, horror movie in January, obviously not so well done, but I was still hopeful. It looked cool, and the trailer alone looks really fun. I disagree with a lot of those people. I thought this movie was very well done. However, it's not a werewolf, so let's talk about that. We'll get into that. So this movie is very much so a monster movie, but it's weird. So like it follows the dynamic of husband and wife relationship, and we get to see a lot of character development with the husband, and we learn to really dive deep with the husband's character. His name's Blake. I really found myself liking Blake a lot throughout this movie. Not really caring for the wife. We don't really get to see a lot of character development. We don't get to see a lot of backstory with her. We get a lot of backstory with Blake. They obviously have a child, and they go from a city to back to Blake's father's house to just go see like where is it? Oregon, which I believe is where Sasquatch lives. That would be a cool movie to get one day, a Sasquatch film. And all of a sudden, it leads to this event where there's a wolf man attacking them from the outside, and it spreads. Like we heard this theory. It's an infection disease type of thing. Now I got to see the director. I got to meet him at New York City Comic Con, if you guys remember that, for Blumfest, which I have a T-shirt for, and he was really cool talking. Like, I didn't directly talk to him. I just saw a panel. He was talking about the film. He was really cool. He said that he wanted to take an approach where it's more of an infection disease animalistic type of way, where it's a guy turning into an animal, more than a wolf man, a werewolf. And I was like, that's an interesting take. And then I saw the trailer before everyone else did for like a week before. Seeing the movie play out, they play it really well, but it's very similar to The Fly. So it's kind of like this guy gets attacked by the werewolf that's outside, and he turns into a werewolf on the inside of the house, but slowly, and it takes all night for him to finally turn into the werewolf. And it goes back and forth between his perspective and the wife's perspective. Of course, we see more of the wife's perspective, because the thing that with this movie that I don't kind of like is the wife kind of turns into the main character. I believe her name is Charlotte. I could be wrong on that. She turns into the main character directly, because she's like the final girl within the movie. It turns from him being the main character to her, which is kind of like the whole thing, because it's him changing into the werewolf, which I thought that was cool. But there really wasn't a lot with the acting here with the little girl. I didn't find her to be like appealing. I didn't find the wife to be appealing. So those two final people, I didn't really care for that much. But I really liked Blake as a character, from him being like a child to seeing him as the werewolf. I thought that he was really good. Then we see basically just the chaos that unfolds within this night. And I'll tell you what, there's really no moon within this film. It's more of a werewolf movie that deals with the infection disease of basically another werewolf rips you or affects you, whether that be like nail, bite, kind of like a zombie apocalypse type of disease where it bites you. Oh, the heater stopped. Should I be more concerned now? So like the werewolf bites you or does something to you, and you turn into that werewolf. So it's kind of like a zombie apocalypse with werewolves instead, like, because in the original, like, obviously you would have to be attacked by the werewolf, but you wouldn't turn into the werewolf until the moon was bright or the moon was out, and then you would die from the silver bullet. I'm so scared. So they definitely changed the lore, which I can stand for. Like I said, I wasn't a massive werewolf watcher. I literally just watched American Werewolf in London like 2 days before. And I do want to watch the 2010 werewolf movie to see how different it is. But like I said, this movie, it follows a different take. And the werewolf design is definitely weird. It's different. And we got to see it, which is ridiculous, on like the Halloween Horror Nights, I believe. And that looks weird. And trust me, the movie version looks a lot better. However, it does look like this. But I'll tell you what, the final werewolf reveal isn't as appealing. But seeing the werewolf that attacks our main character, that looks like a werewolf. Blake's transformation is only one night, so that's, I guess, the difference. Also, this movie's visuals are great. I really found the lighting in this movie to be great, and some of the cinematography, especially where, like, Blake is, like, the werewolf, the cinematography in that, it was great. The transformation scene was okay, but I really like, again, the cinematography and seeing the visuals of Blake's perspective, I thought were really interesting to see. And then for, like, the score was cool, but I really like the sound effects within, like, the movie, where this movie dives heavily with the sound, especially seeing, like, Blake's perspective. Like, this movie's great when it's the werewolf's perspective, because we never get to see, like, what the werewolf sees. But that's my spoiler-free thoughts, I guess, as of right now. I think that it was really good. Just needed to be kind of separate, like, I don't know. Like, it's not really a werewolf as more of a different take on the Wolfman, which I can appreciate. It's just, I would think of it more as a monster movie like The Fly, instead of a werewolf movie like the original Wolfman or American Werewolf in London. Let's see my overall thoughts. Fast forward to see the overall thoughts. But now I'm going to get into spoiler territory. So getting into spoilers, right from the get-go, this movie starts off with Blake as a little boy and with his father, which a few reviews that I saw said that the father was kind of like abusive towards him. I didn't see any abuse. I saw the father as stern and direct, which, I mean, I guess, like, growing up in, like, more of, like, a stern, direct family, maybe I was just always raised like that, so I don't know. But, like, I was like, there's really nothing going on here. He's just a military man who wants to protect his child, and they see this wolfman going on, like, a hunting trip. And then the dad clearly wants to find the wolfman for his son. Then we skip forward 30 years. The dad's dead. Which I saw this with my friend Joseph, shout out Joseph and Juliana. We were just fast forwarding, and then my friend Joe I didn't realize this, but my friend Joe just goes like, I guarantee you that that's the Wolfman, the dad, he's dead, I bet you it's the Wolfman. And I was like, that didn't even click to me yet, and then I was so mad at him, because like he kind of told me, and that turns out what it is. So he goes to the house in Oregon, he sees like an old friend, kind of friend, which was the creepiest scene in this movie. He turns around to the wife and daughter and goes like, you best don't know what you got there, sonny. You got a nice family. I bet you don't take appreciation of that. And I was just like, this is the most weirdest guy. It felt like a Hills Have Eyes moment. Like, I was like, this is weird. And of course we see the truck. He falls out. And that's where the Wolfman attacks him. Now, we don't know at this point yet, but that is apparently the father, which, again, I didn't realize, my friend did, and then he told me, and I was like, I don't know if that's the truth. It's revealed later on if that's the father. But the werewolf attacks him. He attacks Blake, which was the stupidest attack, because Blake's trying to shut the door. Why? Just get out the window. Oh, there are so many moments like that in this movie where I was like, dude, just get out the window. And then we see that Blake is slowly transforming. We see his perspective, which I really liked, in that he's talking to his wife, and he's trying to communicate. The wife's trying to communicate to him, but they're not understanding each other. I thought that was really cool. And then slowly, they're falling apart, and like, it just turns into where we see the Wolfman from that attacked Blake in the house. It's real, that's the father. Obviously, the wife, I don't think, knows it, and the daughter, but Blake obviously knows it, as he's the werewolf now. And he's slowly kind of attacking his wife and daughter. But throughout the whole movie, he was trying to defend the wife and daughter as the werewolf, which I really liked. It reminded me a lot like The Fly, where there's like points in the movie where like he's turning into the monster and the human. He's trying to be a human, but also being a monster. Because the relationship between him and his daughter is very pure. But I will tell you what, the relationship between Blake and the wife was not. I didn't really see the relationship that well. They were obviously having trouble. And I think this movie would have done a lot better is if they didn't have that trope where it's a struggling relationship, which I feel like that's in a lot of horror movies. I feel like if they had a really nice relationship, this movie would have hit a lot harder, especially towards the end, because in the end it becomes full circle where the Wolfman starts climbing up to the same tower that Blake was with his father as a kid, now with his wife and daughter, and he's the werewolf, and then he's kind of looking at the daughter and then realizing like, I want this to be over, like The Fly, and then that's when it ends. Obviously, the wife deceases him, and he's on the floor, and the visuals in this movie were great. Like I said, it's beautiful, but it would have been they start crying, the wife and the daughter. Again, I don't really have sympathy for them that much, because maybe more for the daughter, but the wife, I feel like they should have. They said I love you to. She said I love you to him one time in this movie. One time. Like, I'm sorry, maybe I'm just like very lovey-dovey when it comes to relationships, or with my mom, or like with my girlfriend. I don't know, but I'm just like that. Your husband's dying, and he's turning into a werewolf, and you're gonna say I love you once? Get out of here. Get out of here. It would have been more, I felt, heartbreaking and more like, I don't know. Like, I would have been more attached to it, I guess, if like they were more of like a connection with like more healthy relationship, I guess, if that's what you want to say. And then yeah, I mean, also there was like a few scenes in this movie that I was like, that's really cool. Like I said, the director of this was the guy from Saw, and there's a point where the Wolfman is trapped in a bear trap and has to eat his leg out of it. That was really cool to see. That was graphic, and I really liked it. Another cool scene that I really liked was seeing he had like the arm, the rip, and then he just starts like scratching it. Oh, that reminded me of like seeing a Terrifier film. I was so grossed out. I was like, that's disgusting. And then right here are my overall thoughts of the movie. So I'm going to have to give this movie a 66 out of 100. I think this movie was really good and really surprising for a January release, because a lot of horror movies that come out early on, especially from Blumhouse, I typically don't really like. Like Megan, I didn't really like it that much. And Blumhouse lately for me just wasn't that much of a hit, but this was actually one of my Blumhouse movies that I actually really enjoyed. And yeah, I actually thought this movie was really well done. Different perspective, and I think I'm gonna appreciate it a lot more than other people. I thought it was really cool as a monster movie. If you go in thinking like that, it's not really a werewolf, but more of a monster. You just can't really go saying it's something else, because it at the end of the day, it's a werewolf. It's a man turning into a wolf. It's different, and it's a different approach to it, which, again, I'm not too picky on it, but like, I guess if they change like Frankenstein, like I have a close connection to like Frankenstein's monster. If you change that, I'll be angry. Or if you like change Dracula, again, it's kind of annoying. But I feel like a werewolf, you can go all different directions. It's kind of cool. So yeah, I actually really liked this movie. I enjoyed it. More than I thought I would. Like a 66, of course, is like a low score for like some movies, but for this, pretty high. It's a 7 out of 10, and it's the second movie of the year, and I actually really enjoyed it. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video. Unfortunately, CapCut is down, and I deleted the CapCut like a stupid head. So I'm gonna have to edit this on InShot, I believe it's called. I don't know what it's called, but it's an alternative to CapCut, because of course the whole TikTok ban, which got unbanned. So yeah, there's that. But I saved TikTok. Thank God I didn't delete that. But so if this video is edited a little weirdly, it's because of that. But thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, make sure you like it. If you really liked it, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to see future reviews like this, make sure you hit that bell in the description or wherever it is. With all that being said, this is out. Peace.